Okay, today we're going to talk about transformations. Okay, so write this down. A lot of this video you will not have to write down because it's a lot of pictures, but I really want you to try to participate and learn, but you're going to get kind of a lot of information here. So transformations, I want you to write this first page down. So transformations, there's 3 types. The first one is translation, and that means it's a slide. That means we're going to take a picture, we're going to take an image, and we're going to slide it either right, left, up, or down. Okay, so if we have a square, we may move it to the right, and that's a slide. It's going to stay the same size and everything. We're just going to move it. We may have a triangle. We're going to move it down. I've run out of space already. Oh, there we go. I have more space than I thought. We're going to move it down. Okay. And well, I'll get to that in a minute. All right. So we're just taking a picture and we're moving it. It stays the same. If it's looking up, it's still looking up. It looks the exact same. The size stays the same. Reflection is a flip. So if we have a line and we have an arrow going this way and I want to flip it to this side, that means my arrow is going to look like this because I have reflected it. It's like a mirror image. Okay, if I have a line that's this way and I have I'm trying to make it something that I can draw, we'll just say an arrow again. It's going to be the exact same size. It's just going to be going the other direction. It's just like a mirror image. Your right is your left is your right. Okay. The last thing is a rotation. And that rotation, we really focus on 90-degree rotation, 180-degree rotation, and 270 degree rotation. Okay. So let me think of a coordinate grid as the easiest place to do this. Okay, so if we have a shape that looks like this and we rotate it 90 degrees, and this can be clockwise or counterclockwise. So if you get confused, look at the clock in your class. If it's the way that your clock is ticking, that's clockwise. If it's the other way, it's not. So if we go 90 degrees clockwise and we turn it, so from this quadrant to this quadrant is 90 degrees, and it's going to kind of turn sideways. And that if we went here all the way to here, that would be 180 degrees. And then if we went from there all the way around, this would be 270 degrees, and it would be 360. Okay, so it would kind of rotate as it went around. The image would rotate. And we'll do some pictures of that so you can see that here in a minute. Now it could also have gone the other way. It would look this particular figure would look the exact same. So the things you need to know for sure: the size stays the same. They are similar. They're equivalent. The size stays the same no matter on all of these. The size stays the same. The direction may change. Because it does not change, the direction doesn't change on this first one up here. If we have an arrow and we move it to the right, it's still going to be pointing to the right because we didn't flip it or turn it or anything like that. Okay, so the size stays the same. You won't be till next year when you work with dilations that it'll get smaller or larger, but we're not doing that. Okay, so now let me put up this, not that screen, this screen. Okay. Though I thought I downloaded it, but we'll just deal with this. This is fine. All right. So on your paper, I just want you to write what you think this first one right here. So, oh, I know what else. Another thing on your paper I want you to write. If this, and on this one it's a little hard because where you can't tell, but I'm going to tell you. So this is called, oh, shoot. Hold on. Okay, sorry, I had to redo some things because it wouldn't let me write on that other page. So on here, you do not have to write these down, but I want you to pay attention and follow along and try to figure things out. One thing I left off the other page is your first image. The image you start with is called your pre-image. So I need you to write that down on your sheet of paper. Pre-image, and then the one you end with is your image. Okay, so pre-image and image. And normally, so this would be like if this figure was A, this would be considered A prime. Okay, the second image has the little prime, all right? And I'll make sure at the end to remind you of that. So if we started with this image and it went to this image, what do you think happened? Did it slide straight across? Did it reflect or did it rotate? Okay, see how it's pointing to the right and then it's pointing down? So this would have to be a rotation or a, rotation. Okay. Now here, if this is our pre-image, so I'm going to say P and this is P prime. So we go from here to here. Okay. So it didn't slide down because the heart is not facing the same direction. Okay. It didn't reflect because it's not a reflection. It either rotated, we're not sure which way, it either rotated 270 degrees this way or 90 degrees this way. So it either went clockwise 270 or counterclockwise 90. We don't have to identify which one, we're just identifying that it's a rotation. So I just want you to kind of follow along. You do not have to draw these out or anything, just follow along. Okay. Let's do, okay. Now I want to pick a different one than these. These are all rotations. Okay, so let's look at these two arrows. If this, let's say this is our image and this is our pre-image. I mean, let's say this is our pre-image and this is our image. So we went from here to here. Okay, we didn't reflect because it's not only, it could have reflected and then moved technically. Okay, well, it didn't rotate because we're going the same way. It looks like it went up and then it went left a little bit. Okay, now you all will only do one either rotation, but some of these, there are going to be two. So this is called a translation. Okay, if you can get confused on that, it's a slide. It slid up and to the left, okay? Now this one, let's say this is the pre-image and this is the image. Okay, so we went from here to here. If we reflected it, it would have gone over here or down here facing the other way. If it rotated, it'd be upside down. So this is also a slide. It looked like it went down and to the left, or it could have gone left and then down. Okay, so this is also a translation or a slide. Okay, see what else we got. Here's a good one. This is just slid right over. This one just slid right down. Okay, same here. These are all slides. Now they may have slid twice over and left, but you see how they're facing the same direction. If they were rotated or flipped, they wouldn't. Okay, so here, these are good ones here. So let's say this is our pre-image and this is our new image. Okay, so it went from here to here. If we would have slid this over, the arrow would still be pointing to the left. So we took this and it flipped all the way over. If it had rotated, the arrow would be pointing down. Okay, so this is called a reflection or a flip. Okay, What do you think here? Now it looks like butterfly wings, but we took this heart and we flipped it over. Took this heart, flipped it over. Okay, so this is also a reflection. Oops, it doesn't start with an F. Reflection or a flip. Okay, so I just want to show you some more. This one, reflected or reflected, same here, reflection. Reflection, these are all reflections. You guys see those? If this had been a rotation, it would be more like this. Like it would be facing. This is an awful drawing, but it would look something like that. Okay. Okay, and we don't do dilations. Those would be dilations. All right, so see if I can get back to the page I wrote on. Here we go. So one thing I want you to remember, so go back to your piece of paper. It's called an image. It's called a pre-image. And then it goes to the image, which is a little confusing, I think. But pre means before. So that's your first image, and this is your second image. And this may be A, this one, the image will be A prime. Okay, so let me take this off so I can still write on here. And let me move me so you can see. Okay, so this would be A, this would be A prime. That little apostrophe is prime, okay? So image, pre-image to image.